To be feared is not to be cruel. It is not to be monstrous. It is to be understood without explanation. It is to create a presence so powerful that others measure their actions by your potential reaction. Machiavelli did not romanticize leadership. He dissected it. He stripped away the illusions of morality and laid bare the mechanics of power. And at the core of that power, he placed fear. The man who is feared is never underestimated, never overlooked. He does not blend in. He does not beg for space, he carves it. He does not chase respect, he commands it. Through silence, through action, through consequence. You must learn this. Love is optional, but fear is insurance. Love fades. It depends on behavior, on continued satisfaction, on shared interests. But fear endures. Fear does not need renewal. It is not a feeling, it is a law. One that governs silently, steadily, and ruthlessly. When you are feared, you do not need to shout. You do not need to argue. You need only to exist. Your history speaks for you. Your demeanor carries your legacy. Others will tread lightly, not because of what you said, but because of what you are capable of doing. Fear makes men cautious. It makes them second guess. It slows their ambition when aimed at you. It makes betrayal a risk too great. To be feared is to create boundaries that do not require defense. You walk into a room and the air shifts. Eyes become careful. Tongues hesitate. Not because they hate you, but because they know your limits are not to be tested. This power does not come from cruelty. It comes from consistency, from decisiveness, from consequence. The feared man is not rash. He is precise. Every action is a message. Every decision, a declaration. Machiavelli warned against being hated. That is a different matter. Hatred inspires rebellion. But fear, pure calculated fear, inspires respect wrapped in caution. It silences opposition not with suppression, but with anticipation. To become feared, you must master restraint. An uncontrolled reaction is not power, it is weakness. True fear is born from control, from the understanding that your retaliation, when it comes, will be final, devastating, inevitable. You must also master image. Perception is reality in the game of influence. Be unpredictable. Let your next move be hidden. When they cannot read you, they cannot prepare for you, and in that blindness, fear festers. This does not mean isolation. It means separation. You may have allies, but you must never be one of them. Be above them. Your proximity must never breed familiarity. Familiarity softens fear. And when fear softens, control begins to crumble. To be feared is to build a reputation stronger than your presence. When your name alone silences a room, you are beginning to understand the weight of true influence. When others speak your name with respect coated in anxiety, you are ruling from a distance. Build this slowly, with purpose, with precision. Be kind, but not soft. Be generous, but not indulgent. Be patient, but not passive. And when the time comes, strike with certainty. Let no doubt remain. Let the memory of your action etch itself into their understanding of you. Machiavelli knew that power is not maintained by kindness alone. Kindness invites dependency. It breeds expectation. And when you fail to meet it, they turn, they question, they rebel. But fear makes them pause. Even when they disagree, they hesitate, and that hesitation is your armor. The one who is feared walks a straight path. He does not compromise truth for approval. He does not dilute vision for validation. His compass is internal. His rules are unshaken. And yet, he is not empty. He is not a monster. He loves. He dreams. He creates. But none of it weakens his edge, because all of it is protected by the wall of fear. A wall not built on threats, but on action, on legacy, on results. Do not seek fear for vanity. Seek it for sovereignty, for control, for the ability to move without restraint, to make decisions that are not delayed by committee, to build empires that do not collapse under scrutiny. Because in the end, the feared man is the free man. He does not negotiate his place. He does not request permission. He moves and the world adjusts. He speaks and the room listens. He acts and the system recalibrates. Let others aim to be loved. You aim to be remembered, not for your words, but for your weight, for your presence, for the empire you built not on applause, but on awareness. The awareness that crossing you is too costly. This is not arrogance. This is discipline. It is mastery. It is understanding that control is not about domination. It is about direction, and direction is only followed when backed by certainty. Fear creates that certainty. Use it wisely. Build it intentionally. And when you walk, walk as if your footsteps echo beyond the walls. Because they will. The feared man does not walk in shadows. He casts them. And in those shadows, kingdoms bow. You have built the edge. Now you must live upon it. To be feared is not a destination. It is a discipline. It demands cultivation. Every day you must sharpen it, polish it, feed it with results. In the eyes of others, fear is the shadow you cast. In your own mind, it must be the mirror that keeps you from falling asleep at the throne. You see, the feared ruler cannot relax. Power draws eyes. Power draws envy. Power draws challenges. But fear, true fear, keeps them from rising. The very thought of testing you must feel like stepping into fire barefoot. You must become a lesson, not just a leader. A warning, not just a name. And how do you do this? With silence. With poise, with control so absolute it is mistaken for serenity. The feared man speaks little, but delivers much. He rarely threatens. He only acts. His punishments do not need an audience. His actions do not need narration. He moves like consequence incarnate. Machiavelli understood the delicate tightrope between fear and hate. Hate invites chaos. Fear invites order. The difference lies in justification. The feared man must appear fair, even if ruthless. He must be principled, even if firm. People must say, I do not like him, but he is just. Because justice legitimizes fear. It binds it to structure. Without it, fear becomes tyranny. With it, fear becomes respect. You do not inspire fear by being everywhere. You inspire it by being precisely where you need to be, exactly when you must. The unpredictability must feel divine, as if fate itself aligns with your arrival. Let people wonder how you knew. Let them ask how you always strike at the right time. Let them credit your intuition, your intelligence, your darkness. The source does not matter. The result is fear. The feared man must maintain distance, emotional distance, strategic distance, physical distance when necessary. Closeness breeds softness. It humanizes what must remain iconic. They must not feel that you are like them. They must believe you are beyond them. The more they know of your limits, the less they fear your edge. You will be tempted to be liked. to be praised, to be invited into softness. Deny it. The sweet poison of approval has toppled more rulers than enemies have. When they praise you, thank them with your silence. When they criticize you, reward them with results. When they forget you, remind them without saying a word. Your legacy must walk ahead of you like thunder before a storm. Make examples when needed, not often, not lightly, but decisively and publicly. One severe lesson can silence 1,000 murmurs. One fall from grace, orchestrated with precision, can make everyone else sit straighter. You must be capable of symbolic violence, not of the body, but of reputation. Ruin must be an art form in your hands, rare but irreversible. To be feared is not about being a tyrant. It is about being inevitable. When you rise, they must see it as natural law. When you move, they must adjust. When you speak, they must measure their breaths between your sentences. And still, you must not become a prisoner of your own aura. You must live outside the need for applause, outside the addiction to attention, because the feared man is not loud. He is felt. He does not beg to be heard. His silence is deafening. His presence undeniable. Build legacy, not comfort. Fear, when crafted well, becomes immortality. When you are gone, your methods remain. Your laws outlive your hands. Your memory becomes ritual. They say, he would not have allowed this, long after your dust. That is the echo you must build. Be feared, not because you are cruel, but because you are necessary, because you are unshakable, because your existence alone alters conversations. You must be the variable they cannot control, the line in the sand they dare not cross. You must haunt the ambitions of those who dream of surpassing you. Machiavelli would say, it is better to be feared than loved, if one must choose. But you choose to be feared and respected. Feared because your wrath is precise. Respected because your rule is righteous. Together, they form an armor that no rebellion can pierce. This is your kingdom, not built on charm, but on consequence, on awareness, on gravity, on that subtle, silent pressure you exert without effort. You are not their friend. You are their force, and a force needs no explanation. So, walk with fire in your eyes and silence in your footsteps. Watch as the world bends, not to your shile, but to your shadow, because you are feared, and feared men rule forever.